call him right quick?
No. They called me to try and get him, but I mean, it was too late. Shalom.
Imagine Wapanya Hakwadam, rise and face the east. Hallelujah.
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 Who's the power?
How's the power?
Who's the power?
How's the power?
Bahashem.
Yahushua.
Bahashem.
Yahushua.
The blessing of the Sabbath. Repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, that gives to us the Sabbath day in peace. Thank you, so be it. Amen.
Amen.
Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, Hawa'ah, Lathananawa, HaShabbath, Bashalawam, Torah, Thanyat, Haman. The calling of the tribes. Tribes to the east. Yawasab, Ban Yamyan, Dan, Shema, Yasharela, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Akkad, Saw, turn. Tribes to the south. Shemai one, Yashakar, Zabala one, Shemai, Yasharela, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Akkad. Tribes to the west. So turn. Tribes to the west. Gad, Ashar, Naphtali, Shammai, Yasharela, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Akkad. Saw, turn. Tribes to the north. Roban, Yahweh, Loya, Shammai, Yasharela, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Akkad. Saw, turn. Shammai, Yasharela, Yahweh, Ahrahyahla, Yahweh, Akkad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh is our power, Yahweh is one. Bahashem, Hamashiach Yahushua, the water Thanyan. Amen. The blessing of the Torah. Repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, that gives to us the law. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, Hawa'ah, Lathananawa, HaTorah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, that gives to us the light to see. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, Hawa'ah, Lathananawa, Ha'awar, Lara'ah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, that gives to us the ram's horn to call a people. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Hamashiach, Yahushua, Hawa'ah, Lathananawa, Ha'ayo, Lakra'ah, Ha'ayam. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, Hawa'ah, Lathananawa, Hashaman, Zayath, Lamashak, Yasharela, Torah, Thanyat, Haman. The Ten Commandments and the last one, Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew only. La'a Yahaya Laka Alahariam Akoriam Alpanya La'a Thaisha Laka Pasal Wala'a Laibadum La'a Elquakwath Sham Yahweh Bashua Zakar Hayawam Hashabath Lakwadashua Kabad Habaka Wa'amaka La'a Yatazachaaq La'a Thanaap La'a Thaganab La'a Tha'inor Shakur La'a Thakamad Kal Asharai Lala'ika Bahasham Hamashiach Yahushai Torah Danyad Amen. The Ten Commandments in English, the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1, and it reads,
Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other powers before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything in heaven, that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High Yahweh thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High Yahweh thy power in vain, for the Most High will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High Yahweh thy power blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Most High Yahweh thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. But Hashem Mashiach Yahushai, the water of Yad, Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
Bahashem.
Yahushai.
Bahashem.
Yahushai.
The Lord's Prayer in the last one, Qudash, repeat the Hebrew only. Habanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Qudash. Haya. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakwatha. Thaba'ah. Yatazachaaq. Haya. Aisha. Baharatasa. Ka. Haya. Bashamayim. Lakam. Kayawam. Wasalaknawa. Kabawatinawa. Kasalaknawa. Kabawatinawa. Wala'ah. Thabiyanawa. Balasaya 1, Abo, Hawashainawa, Marai, Kaya, Naka, Hamalakwath, Wala Allah, Wala Thaiparah, I will love you, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, the water, the yad, Amen. The Lord's Prayer, the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 9, and it reads,
After this manner therefore pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushai, the water in Yad, Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
Bahashem.
Yahushai.
Bahashem.
Yahushai.
Psalms 133 in the last one, Qudash, repeat the Hebrew only. Shayar. Hamawath. Ladawad, Hana, Ma, Tuwa, Wama, Nayam, Shabath, Akim, Gum, Yakad, Kashaman, Hatawab, Ayam, Haraash, Yarad, Ayam, Hazakwan, Zakwan, Haharan, Shayarai, Ayam, Paya, Mandawath Yawa, Katal, Karawan, Shayarai, Ayam, Haraya, Taziawan, Kaya, Shem, Tazawa, Yahweh, Ath, Hariyakad, Kayayam, I will love Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahushai, the water, the Yan, Psalms 133 in English.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head, that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High Yahweh commanded a blessing, even life forevermore. Bahashem Mashiach Yahushai, the water from Yad. Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 Who's the power?
How is the power?
Who's the power?
How is the power?
Bahashem.
Yahushai.
Bahashem.
Yahushai.
Psalms 150 to praise.
Praise ye Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yahweh in his sanctuary.
Hallelujah.
Praise him in the firmament of his power.
Hallelujah.
Praise him for his mighty acts.
Hallelujah.
Praise him according to his excellent greatness.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the sound of the trumpet.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the psaltery and harp.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with the timbrel and dance.
Hallelujah.
Praise him with string instruments and organs.
Hallelujah.
Praise him upon the loud cymbals.
Hallelujah.
Praise him upon the high sounding cymbals.
Hallelujah.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Praise ye Yahweh Bahashem Mashiach Yahushai, the water in Yad. Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 Who's the power?
How is the power?
Who's the power?
How is the power?
Bahashem.
Yahushai.
Bahashem.
Yahushai.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Let everything that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
All praise, all thanks go out to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because truly his mercy endure forever. We come humbly before you, Abba Yahweh, in Shabbat day. The water for waking us all up, Abba Yahweh, all Israel that face Jerusalem and call on thy high holy name. The water for waking up the circumcision and the uncircumcised. Abba Yahweh, please send the righteous angels to encamp around all Israel, Abba Yahweh. And as always, please, we beg of you, please send the spirit of healing, Abba Yahweh, on our nation. Those that are dealing with any kind of infirmities in their spirit. And please, we beg of you, keep the COVID-19, 45, 35, whatever devices of Satan that is out there, the pestilence, keep it away from the children of Israel. Let it not come nigh the circumcision or the uncircumcised. We come here today to pray that all Israel be saved, Abba Yahweh. With that being said, Abba Yahweh, please, we beg of you, please come redeem us out of this captivity and bring us into our own land, flowing with milk and honey, and give us our King, Hamashiach Yahushai, Bahashem Hamashiach Yahushai. Please come redeem us out of this captivity. I thought. All these things we give thanks and praise in your name, Yahweh, and your son, Yahushai, Bahashem Hamashiach Yahushai, the water of the Yad, Haman, Yeshabiam. Radar.
Four batteries. Okay.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Alright, Shabbat in peace. Last time I checked, it was in a brown box.
I think it's in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, here, right?
Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
Oh,
One that's online, hallelujah, hallelujah. Shalom, shalom. Yeah. So today, Shabbat Shalom, today's portion, right? What's today's portion?
I think it should be good.
We had Leviticus
12 to 13.
the 12th chapter all the way to the 13th chapter. So we have 2 chapters that we're going to go over with this weekly Torah portion. All right? So we go through this Torah portion. It starts at the end of the tabernacles, and it picks it back up at the beginning of the next tabernacle the following year. So by the time the year has passed, you'd have already read the Torah, right? The first 5 books of Moses, okay? Which is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. So, but you know, today actually we're going to start out a few minutes just to touch on a few things. I know the biggest thing that's happening now today is the Will Smith that he smacked Chris Rock, you know, on live television. It was very disturbing to see something like that at that level. You know, it just goes to prove what Don King always said, all right, which was you always be a nigger in America, right? And he said also that if you have money, you just a nigger with money. Okay? So the idea that the other nations will be looking at us and looking and see how, you know, misbehaved that we can be on such a platform like that, the Oscars, right? We're supposed to be a form of prestige and a honor to be there. We behave like we're animals, okay? And you know, we say things, something like that we expect to happen in the hood. We expect to happen on, you know, whatever hood you in. If you're living on Martin Luther King Boulevard, which is in every hood across the United States of America, you would expect something like that to happen, okay? So with that being said, there's a lot of sin going on here in America and all over the world, and this is the reason why things like this happen amongst our people, because of the sin, right? You know, the scriptures tell us that if we resist the devil, he will flee. And the issue is that we're not resisting the devil, we are taking him on. We're loving the devil. We're hugging the devil. We're laying out milk and cookies for the devil in our homes. And it's the reason why he's coming in and he's destroying our homes. With that being said, we're going to open up with the book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17. We're going to open up the word of Yah, and we're just going to touch on a few things before we go into the portion. Colossians 3 and verse 17.
This is the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to Yahweh and Yahweh by him.
Right, so everything we do, we always do it by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai. Any word or deed, we do it in the name of the anointed Savior. So with that being said, let's get the first one that I just spoke about, resisting the devil. Give me James chapter 4 and verse 7. All right, let's start there. James 4 and 7.
This is the book of James chapter 4 verse 7.
Read.
Submit yourselves therefore to Yahweh.
Do what?
Submit yourselves therefore to Yahweh.
That's what we have to do. We have to submit ourselves to the Most High, to Yahweh. And these guys, this couple has not, may have set some vows and got before some priests and said, you know, they're going to honor each other and marry each other, okay? But they're not doing it according to Yah. They're doing it according to the way of this world, right? And marriage comes from who? Marriage comes from the Most High. The Most High created marriage between man and woman. So when you decide you're going to get married, you could you can now come to the men of the Most High and then get counsel and get married. Bring that up front. All right, give it to Taz. Okay. Read.
Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
Resist the devil, and he will do what? He will flee from thee. That's the problem. Our people are not resisting the devil. That's a big issue in our community. Okay? So now, the topic is about this guy, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. They have now, of course, made the news with this disgrace of this smack. But before that, they were separated, and they decided that during their separation, she decided that she was going to have a relationship outside of hers with her husband. Now, far as I know, according to Torah, right, that is against the law. Everybody understand that? Okay, whether you be separated or not, once you lie down with that woman becomes your wife. Your wife is not allowed to be in a relationship with another man, whether you're separated or not. She only has that right when this happens. Real quick, something I added. Give me Romans chapter 7 verse 1. Let's get Romans 7 verse 1. The book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 1. Read that.
This is the book of Romans chapter 7 verse 1.
Go ahead.
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law have dominion over a man as long as he liveth?
Right, as long as you live. Read.
For the woman which have an husband,
The woman that has a what?
an husband,
Right, so we agree that we saw that Will Smith, they had the wedding, right? They had their vows, they got married, husband and wife. He said the woman that has what? Which have an husband, read,
is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth.
right? And so long as he liveth, read on.
But if the husband be
If
dead,
the husband be who?
dead,
If the husband be dead, read.
she is loosed from the law of her husband.
Right, so there's laws between a husband and wife. Okay? You make a vow to take care of your wife, make a vow to be the protection to your wife. She makes a vow to honor and obey you. Okay? So now, with this being said, it says that she is bound to her husband as long as he liveth. Read on.
So then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress.
Right. So then if while her husband liveth, you go have a relationship with another man, he said that what? You shall be called an adulteress. Right? Because you have broken the law of the Most High concerning your husband, because he's still alive. You are bound to the husband as long as he liveth. That is the law between husband and wife. Okay? So now, read on.
But if a husband be dead,
But a husband be who?
dead,
Right, read.
she is free from that law,
Right, she is free from that law. Read.
so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man.
Right, so though she be married to another man, she is not going to be called an adulteress, because now the law of the husband has been broken, because now the husband gave up the spirit. Right, the husband gave up the spirit, and now he's gone, he's in the grave, and now she can go and be with another man. So now she go and be with that man, and now they move on and they decide to have a healthy relationship. But if you are separated from your husband, okay, for some reason, the scriptures tell us that we should reconcile, meaning get counsel. You know, you at that level of that level of where they're at. You know, the paying someone to be a counselor, the counsel between them two should go unlimited, because both of them they're sitting on a lot of money. So if they're having problems within one another, the counsel should already be there. Right at like if they figure they can't live with each other or things are getting really bad, pay for somebody. If it was $1,500 an hour, they got it to pay it. It's not a big deal. Okay? But they decided not to. She decided to go and do what? She said she called it an entanglement. Right? It was an entanglement, and it went on for what, 3 or 4 months.
Longer than that.
So now I'm saying to myself, did you walk down the block and then it was some wire out there and you got entangled in the wire and you fell down and somehow somebody's rod went inside you? Where are you going with this entanglement?
She tripped and fell.
She tripped and fell, and then somebody's rod went in the kabah. Right? That is not Torah. This is the condition of our people. This is the reason why 50% of our people that get married, they get divorced. Right? Because no one is submitting themselves to the Most High. They did not take that wedding. They did not get counsel before the wedding. Did not get counsel during the wedding, during the marriage. Okay? They decided to do the marriage on their own thing, their own way. Let's go to Vegas. Let's elope. That is not the will of Yah. So now at this point, there are people out there defending what Will Smith did to Chris Rock, which was an abomination. It was an embarrassment to the nation. Okay, so she doesn't have the right to go out and be with another man. Okay, according to the law of the Most High. Give me Leviticus chapter 20, verse 10. You can drop James. You finished it? Read it again. Read it, James 4 and 7. Then go Leviticus.
This is the book of James, chapter 4, verse 7.
Read that.
Submit yourselves, therefore, to Yahweh.
Right. They have not submitted themselves to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is the reason why they're in the position that they're in. Submit yourselves to Yahweh. Read.
Resist the devil.
Do what?
Resist the devil.
Right. Resist the devil. Read.
And he will flee from you.
And he will do what?
And he will flee from you.
Right. And the Most High said the devil is going to flee from you if you resist the devil. But if you take on the devil, then what do you expect to happen? Right? Don't sit in the pool. It's like you sitting in the pool with your friends asking yourself why you wet. Does that make sense? Right? Come on now. You committing this sin, you're not serving the Most High, and you expect everything to have a happily and loving marriage? That's garbage. I'm sure that wasn't the first entanglement that she had. And he probably had some stuff going on too. Okay? So, with that being said, Leviticus 20 verse 10. Let's bring out the law on that.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife,
right?
Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
They shall surely be what?
Put to death.
These people do sin that is worthy of death. They don't realize, because why? They don't believe in the Bible. They don't believe in the Bible. But we wholeheartedly believe in the Bible. We know what time it is because we know that judgment is coming. And they're going to get judged for the evil that they have done. Because when you break the commandments, you don't just break the commandments. You break the commandments and you pass your breaking of the commandments on to everyone else. Because everyone else now, not all the other women going to be coming out and say, well, you know what, I didn't have an entanglement. Right? well, Will Smith and Jada is still together, so we can work it out. But according to the law, if a woman have an entanglement or whatever kind of relationship, the judgment is death. And your job as a man is to write her a bill of divorcement. Right? Because that woman, you need to put that woman out of your house. I'd have told her TWA behind to get out of my house. TWA, teeny weeny afro. Right? I'd have told that joker, get out. Right? Get out. Because this is the situation that's going on. This is not the first time we heard about things like this. This is going on in all our neighborhoods, in all our hoods, and all over. Because our people despise the law of the Most High. They despise it. They don't want to keep the commandments of God. Okay? So, he said, the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer, the one that's giving, and the adulteress, the one that's receiving. What did he say?
Shall surely be put to death.
Shall surely be put to death. That's their judgment. Okay? And they're going to have to answer for that. The Most High hated adulterers and adulteresses. Give me James 4:4. You can drop that. Give me James 4:4. The Most High say he hated that stuff, man. He said, if you're adulterer and adulteress, he said, you're not a friend of him. You don't love him. You ain't trying to do the work of the Most High. Right? Are you? Absolutely not. You could care less. Read that.
This is the book of James, chapter 4, verse 4.
Read.
Ye adulterers and adulteresses.
Ye adulterer and adulteress. They're talking about the man and the female. The one giving and the one receiving. Read.
Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? With Yahweh?
Right. The friendship of this world, how they accept adulterers and adulteress. They accept that. But the Most High, he don't accept that. That's evil on high level. That you deal with another man's wife. Read on.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world.
Right. You're a friend of the world. Read.
Is the enemy of Yah.
Right. You are enemy of Yah. Read on.
Do you think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy?
Read.
But he giveth more grace, wherefore he saith, Yahweh resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble.
Right. The Most High resisteth the proud, but what? Give grace unto them that humble themselves and submit themselves to Yah. Read.
Submit yourselves therefore to Yahweh. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
Again, and we went back there again to why. Why did he say? Because if you resist the devil, he will flee. You will not have these spirits on you that you want to go and deal with another man's wife. Once the woman says she married, that's it. Once the woman say she involved with someone, a lot of times women don't recognize themselves as being married. But if you lay in the bed with the man taking you out, he's spending money with you, that is your husband. Whether you like it or not. According to Torah, he's supposed to be your husband. His responsibility is to marry you. Okay? But these people, they take marriage for a joke. According to the scripture say marriage is honorable. Get that real quick. That came to my head. Give me Hebrews 13 verse 4. I don't know where they're going with this relationship, or we have an open relationship. Only thing open about your relationship should be the Torah. That's the only thing should be open. That's it. Everything else is closed doors. Okay? You letting your crap all come all out, or your relationship. Why do you think they put a door on the bathroom? You go in there and use the bathroom, you close the door because the crap is coming out. These jokers open up the door and let all the stuff come out. That's a wicked and evil thing, man. Read that.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 4.
Read.
Marriage is honorable.
Marriage is what?
Is honorable.
The marriage between you and a woman, right? According to the law of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Torah, Yahweh, read. Marriage is honorable. Read.
In all.
And what?
In all.
In all. Go ahead.
And the bed undefiled.
Right. What happened between you and your wife in the bedroom? That's undefiled. Go ahead.
But whoremongers.
But what?
But whoremongers.
Read.
And adulterers. Yahweh will judge.
You hear that? Whoremongers and adulterers. You being an adulterer and an adulteress, the Most High will judge you for your foolishness. It's gonna go down. It's coming. Because you're a shameless woman. Is the reason why you're in the position that you're in. Okay, the Most High gonna put the judgment on y'all. Okay, drop that. Okay, give me Psalm 73 and 12. Let's go there real quick. Psalm 73 and 12. Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73, verse 12.
Right?
Behold, these are the ungodly.
These are what?
The ungodly.
These are the unrighteous. Read.
Who prosper in the world.
Who do what?
Who prosper in the world.
Right, both of them are unrighteous and both of them prosper in the world. Read.
They increase in riches.
They do what?
Increase in riches.
They got all these riches. Why couldn't they sit down with somebody to counsel them before you go and separate and have some sort of entanglement? With all that money, you would think you would be. Couples today, young couples who get married and don't get counseled, they can't afford to counsel. Things go down. They're not really in church like that. They're not serving the Most High. They just separate, and these are the things that happen to them. When you at that level, you're a millionaire. There's no excuse why you couldn't go out and get someone to counsel between you two. Even if they was asking for $1,500 an hour, you can pay that with nothing. All right? What is the issue? Why you couldn't do that? Our people are proud. They got their money and they just want to go and do what they want to do with it. Okay? But they prosper in this thing. And then she get mad at Chris Rock because he made a joke at her. Oh, the next G.I. Jane movie, I want to see the sequel with you in it. Right? It wasn't even that funny. Okay? But she's sitting up there with what? With this big bald head. Yatazachaaq, pull up a picture of that broad. Alright? Pull up a picture of her. Yes, I know. See if we can get a picture of her. Give me 1 Corinthians 11. Give me 1 Corinthians 11 real quick. Where's she at? Alright, there she go. That's her on the right. On the left, she look better. But anyway. But still in all, thank you, leave it up there. I want to see something. Give me 1 Corinthians, you got it? 11? Mm-hmm. And start at 3.
This is the first book of Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach.
Right. The head of the man is who? Mashiach Yahweh. Who will give the glory and the praise to Yahweh and his son Yahweh. Read.
And the head of the woman is the man.
The head of the woman is what?
Is the man.
The head of the woman is the man. So this is the order between man and woman. The man is over the woman. They don't equal nothing. Right? That equal opportunity, that equal thing that women be talking about, equal rights between man and woman, that's garbage. The man is over the woman, period. Alright? Go ahead.
And the head of Christ is Yahweh.
Right? The head of Yahushua, right, is his father, Yahweh. Read.
Every man praying or prophesying. Let's go into something else.
No, go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
Right, so we show you who the head was. The head of man is who? Hamashiach Yahushua. So every man that's praying, prophesying with his head covered, you dishonor your head. My head is not covered. You see that? I got to meet you, my head is out. So I'm not dishonoring my head, which is Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay? Read on.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered,
right,
dishonoreth her head.
So a woman praying, prophesying with her head uncovered is what? She dishonor her head. Who's the woman's head? Man. Read on.
For that is even all one as if she were shaven.
If she was what?
Shaven.
Is who?
Shaven.
You see how her head is shaven? She have a disease called alopecia, right? Where a disease that eats away of your hair. Okay? The root of your hair. And it falls out. I know someone personally who has this. More than one. Okay? So now, if you got this issue, right? Why don't you have your head covered? Right? Because you know why? Because you got so much money, there's no shame in your game. You do and say what you want out of your mouth. That's why you have that red table.
She said that too.
She said that?
She said that. I don't care about how nobody feels. My head shaving.
I don't care what nobody said. My head shaving. You know what that's saying? Give me the book of Sirach. That's why I went there. Okay? Give me the book of Sirach. Give me the book of Sirach. Let me show you how, I'm not upset what Chris Rock said. He should have said something a little bit more to it. You should have added more to it. Give me 26. You know what I want. 26 and 26. 25. Yeah, I know. 26 and 25. Go straight to the point.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 25.
Read that.
A shameless woman.
What? A shameless woman. And you have your head like that. You come outside and you ball like that. You are a shameless woman. Right? You have no shame in your game. Read.
Shall be counted as a dog.
Counted as what?
As a dog.
Spell that.
D-O-G.
Right. I don't want you to think that the dog is talking about like Snoop Dogg. Yo, you my dog, you my man. This the dog, the one that got walk on all four, got paws, and got fleas. You should be counted as a dog, a shameless woman. Read.
But she that is shamefaced.
She is what?
Shamefaced.
Read.
Will fear Yahweh.
Right. You're shamefaced. You will fear Yahweh. You will cover yourself up. You will cover your body up. You will cover your head out of shame, because the woman's head is her crown. That's what the prophet Isaiah said. Most High say he smite the crown of the women of Jerusalem. Right? Give them that alopecia and all these other different diseases that make their hair fall out, because the women are disobedient to the Most High. Hold it out. Go ahead.
A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all.
Right. She gonna be counted unrighteous of all, because she don't honor her husband. Because this is the reason why she's on TV and telling the man in front of him they have an entanglement, and then you bring the guy on that you had the affair with.
Live TV, she told him, Will Smith right in his face, he wasn't doing it for me no more. It's like on live TV.
You airing out your bedroom memoirs out there on live television. Right? With all the male enhancements and all the stuff that's going on out here, ain't no way in the world that you saying the man can't do nothing for you. Nobody can't do nothing for you because you are a dog.
Hallelujah.
And you can't satisfy an animal. Okay? Plain and simple. Now I don't know what he's doing behind closed doors. Lord knows what he's doing. Right? Sure. We don't know what that joke is doing. But because they don't serve Yah, this is the reason why their relationship is in the toilet. Everybody got that? Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 12.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, verse 12.
Start at verse 10.
Verse 10.
Read.
And it came to pass in every of them that as death was to Adam,
Right?
so was the flood to these.
Right, because these people that after Adam, well, they didn't keep the commandments of Yah. And you know what happened? The Most High brought forth the prophet Noah, right, to warn them, to let them know we're going to flood this place. Okay, go ahead.
Nevertheless, one of them thou leftest, namely Noah with his household.
Noah with his household, right? Read.
Of whom came all righteous men.
Right. Out of Noah, the righteous men came. Read on.
And it happened.
And it what?
And it happened.
And it happened. You can drop that picture on. Go ahead.
That when they dwelt upon the earth, when they dwelt upon the earth, began
Right.
to multiply.
They began to multiply. Read.
And had gotten them many children.
Right.
And were a great people.
Right.
They began again to be more ungodly than the first.
You see that? You see what happened? Even though they came and they begotten children, they have families, and what? They became more wicked than the people before them. Right? They think this money is supposed to save you. Money can't do nothing. The scriptures say money is a defense. Okay? With that kind of money, with that level that they're at, they can have counsel. It's all kind of different things. They can have counsel. The children can have counsel. All kind of things can happen. You can make things happen. That's why the scriptures say money is a defense. But they didn't use that money as a defense. They used that money to make them feel good. Right? That's why Will Smith got up. Right? Because she turned around and gave him that evil look. Right? Straight up and said, make me feel good. And he got up there and disgraced his own brother over a woman. And he can have any woman he want. He can have any woman he want just by his name. Even if he got with one of them Serena sisters before they got with somebody, he was like, yo, I'm interested in you. They were like, Will Smith, they'd have dropped everything and been with him. Right? Yeah. Instead of one of them go with some old Edomite dude. You know what I mean? This guy is old enough to collect a Social Security check. And you in bed with old balls. Right? That is disgusting. Salakia. You know? That is nasty. And Will Smith is a nasty Negro. Just like his wife. They're disgusting. Right? This is not the will of Yah that we behave like this. Okay? He said, what? He said, and it happened that when they that dwell upon the earth began to multiply and had gotten them many children and were great people. These guys are great people. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. They became great. And what? And what happened?
Go
ahead.
They began again to be more ungodly than the first.
They began to be unrighteous than the first. Right? So this is the condition of our people. Give me 2nd Ezra, stay there, and give me 9 and 13. Read that.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 13.
Read.
And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished.
You hear that? Don't be curious and worry about how these jokers going to be punished. All right? The Most High is the punishment is in His hand. Okay? The Most High is going to deal with these two jokers right here and the misfit children that they got. Okay? The boy think he a girl and the girl thinks she a boy. I don't know which one is which. All right? But they are a product of what they call a modern family today. Okay? That is not the will of Yah that we behave like that. It's men and it is women. Tell them take that off. Yeah. And we come together and we marry. That's what we're supposed to do. Okay? And you're supposed to be married to that woman as long as you live. Okay? But when you become a shameless dog, you expect the man to sit up there. He's a comedian. He's going to say something. You look him up there looking crazy. She looked like she belonged in that movie, G.I. Jane. She was sitting in the front row. You know when you're in the front row, you free game. You get it the worst. Right? Even Shannon Sharp mentioned that. He said he was in the front row and one of them brothers got on him. Right? One of them comedians. He went to go see a comedian show. Shannon Sharp, he was there. And they got on him. He was right in the front. Right? You get in the front row. That's why you don't go to a comedian show. You sit in the back. Put on some dark colors. You don't want nobody to see you, make fun of you. I go in there with my Mitri on and sit up front. You think I know he ain't gonna say nothing about me? Right? Right up front. I'll be expecting us. So I might as well not even get in my feelings. Right? I know we're just joking. Okay? So with that being said, this is the condition of our people because we don't resist the devil. This is the problem. All right? This is the issue that we're having in America. Right? No one has submitted themselves onto Yah. No one has submitted themselves onto Yah. I'm going to say it again. No one has submitted themselves onto Yah. Husband and wife is something that is sacred. He said marriage is honorable and the bed is undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers will be judged. This is the condition of our people. And they're going to be punished. But we're not looking for the punishment. We're not worrying about it. We know that Yah is a just man. He's a just power. So when it comes down to it, it's going to go down. Alright? Whether they like it or not. And then you air it out on TV. And then you got people defending them. Yeah, he was standing up for the black woman. No black woman need to be stood up for. Why? How come nobody stood up for Sandra Bland? What are they standing up for that? What happened? How come nobody standing up for our black women getting gunned down, getting shot? Shalom. How come nobody standing up for our black women then? Nobody standing up for our black women. The black woman standing up for herself. She put herself above the man. Alright? So when you out of order, these are the things that happen. So with that being said, we're going to go into the Torah portion. Today's portion is Leviticus 12 and verse 1. The book of Leviticus chapter 12 verse 1.
This is the book of Leviticus chapter 12 verse 1. And the Most High Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying,
what did he say?
Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation for infirmity, shall she be unclean.
Right, so now what? We're going into what? Being unclean. When a woman is having a child. So this is the time of the purification of the woman, the separation from her being what? Coming amongst the congregation. This is what our women do when they have a male child or they have a female child. Everybody understand that? Okay, go ahead.
And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised.
And what day?
8th day.
And the 8th day, so now after your child is born, if it's that male child, then you must work with some of your doctors to let them know that when that child was born, after the day when he's born, 8 days later, you must have him circumcised. This is the law on circumcision. Everybody got that? Go ahead.
And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days.
Right? How long?
3 and 30 days.
So how many days is that? 33 days. So she's going to be separated, right, at this time for 33 days. Go ahead.
She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary, until the days of her purifying be fulfilled.
The days of the what?
Purifying be fulfilled.
Right, so she can't come into the congregation amongst the clean because she's unclean right now because she just had a child. So for 33 days she can't come. Go ahead.
But if she bear a maid child,
And she bear what child?
a maid,
What's
child,
a maid child? A female. So when she bear a female child, read.
then she shall be unclean 2 weeks.
She'll be unclean 2 weeks.
As in her separation. And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days.
How many days is that?
66.
66. So now it's more for the woman when she bear a female child than it is for the male child. So this is the law on separation when you're having a male child or a female child. Everybody understand that? Hold that. Give me Luke now.
So for the male it's 1 week, and for the girl it's what?
2.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And then her purification is basically double.
Yeah.
What you want? Luke?
Yeah, Luke. 1 and 57. 1 and 57. Give me the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 57. We're going to go to a recorded time when also someone had a child. Okay? So to let you know that these laws are being, a lot of times people say, that's the Old Testament. You don't have to keep these laws. You don't have to circumcise your children. All right? I heard a guy tell me on the job from another nation, don't circumcise your children. That's what he told me. Yeah. Don't circumcise your children because you make the child thing smaller or something like that. Like, where you going with that?
What science is that?
What science is that? Right? But this is the reason why these people, these East Indian, these are the reason why these people are the way they are and they got all those diseases over there.
Yeah.
Right?
Unclean nation.
Because they're an unclean nation, and that's why they be dipping their children, they be baptizing them in the Ganges River. Right? Anybody know about the Ganges River? Anybody know about the Ganges River? No? No? Oh my gosh, man. Y'all better check this thing out. These people put the dead body in the river. They throw dead animals in the river. He gonna pull it up. He gonna put all kind of abominable things in the river, dead. You see a body floating by. Anything that died, they just throw it in that river, and it's just toxic. People urinate, defecate in the damn river, everything, and they go over there and take their children and baptize their children in the river. What you got?
It says the untreated sewage dumped into the river.
What is it? The untreated what?
Untreated sewage
Go ahead.
dumped into the river. Industrial waste agricultural runoff, remnants of partially burned or unburned bodies from funeral pyres, and animal carcasses all contribute to polluting the Ganges.
You thought I was making that thing up. You thought I was making it up. I see y'all look on y'all faces. You thought I was making it up. Ministers don't know what he talking about. You know, Heck, he always be saying some stuff, right? Then when I bring it out, bring that out. Okay. Okay. When I bring it out, then all of a sudden now y'all saying, damn, it's like that. Okay. So they're being, what's going to happen now? A lot of the people go in there, they dip their children in there, they baptize the children in there. Okay? But he the first one to tell me not to circumcise your child. According to the law, I need to circumcise my child on the 8th day. Everybody got that? Go ahead. Read that. Luke 1:57.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 57.
Read.
Now Elizabeth's full time came that she should be delivered.
Right?
And she brought forth a son.
We talking about, we in the New Testament. We in Luke. We still applying these laws. Read. And she had a son. Read on.
And her neighbors and her cousins heard how the odd one had showed great mercy upon her. And they rejoiced with her.
Right.
The Most High had showed great mercy upon her.
Right. And they rejoiced with her by her having that son. Go ahead.
And it came to pass,
what happened?
That on the 8th day,
no, on the 7th day.
On the 8th day,
no, on the 20th day.
On the 8th day,
it says on the 8th day, read,
they came to circumcise the child.
They did what?
Came to circumcise the child.
Right. We have to circumcise our children. Everybody got that?
The boys.
The boys, not the women. They do that in Africa. We don't do that garbage. I bet y'all don't believe me about that either, huh? You believe me now, huh?
I believe you with the Hamites.
All right. You mess around with them Hamites, they'll circumcise your daughter. All right. Go ahead.
And they called him Zacharias.
They call him who?
Zacharias.
They called him Zacharias. Read.
After the name of his father.
Read.
And his mother answered and said, not so, but he shall be called John.
Right. He shall be called who? John. Yochanan in the Hebrew.
I was going to say Juan.
Juan, right? Yeah, in Spanish it will be Juan. Yes. But it's called what? Yochanan. Okay. So he was called John, and they named him after his father. We know that was probably correct, because you know what? They probably know that the custom of the heathen do this thing. Yeah, my name is John, so I'm going to name my son John Jacob, the third junior or whatever. Some people come up with this nonsense. Right? We don't need to do that. We name our son a righteous name. Everybody got that? Don't be giving your son no Day, no Junebug, and little B and tall C. Right? Little baby, the baby. That's garbage. He's the first one to open up the womb. He named him after Yah. He belongs to Yah. Okay, so this is a pregnancy recorded in the New Testament. I call it the Second Testament, but they call it the New Testament, like the Old Testament is done away with. And they what? And they had a child. And she did what? And she circumcised the boy on the 8th day. And did she do what? And she gave him a righteous name. This is Torah. Not that other stuff our people be doing. Bonquisha, Laquita, Darnisha, Juanita, Laquita. What kind of names is these? Where get these names from? Right? Righteous names. Okay? Go back. Leviticus 12 and 6.
Okay. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 12, verse 6.
Read on.
And when the days of a purifying are fulfilled, for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation unto the priest.
Right, so she's supposed to bring this on to the priest. Read on.
who shall offer it before Yahweh, and make an atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the law for her that have borne a male or a female.
Right, so this we can obtain in this kingdom. This we can do. Okay? It's called preparation. You know you having a male child, and you know that child is going to be born. When that child was born, you make sure you speak to your doctor way before the child is born. And you say, this must happen the 8th day. Now sometimes you might get jammed up. There are situations where people set appointments for the 8th day, and what? The doctor's not in town. Right? And situations like this happen. Okay? He won't be back until next month. When that child is born, circumcise him right then and there. Right? Because we in this kingdom, you don't have time to waste to fool around with that. Rather have it done than undone. Everybody got that? Because if you don't do it, it's going to be a problem a month later. 2 months later, it's going to be a problem. And if you wait too long, guess what? You got to pay the anesthesiologist. And he want $3,000 up front. That's before he cut. Listen to me. I'm telling you. He want $3,000 right up front. So, this, if you got the money, that's on you. But I warn you to do it right away. Everybody got that? So be ready. Prepare. The key is preparation. Find someone. If you don't know someone, I know someone. Get with me. I have someone. Personally, a doctor that he knows everyone just about in my family. So all I gotta do is refer you to him, and you have to drive to Fort Lauderdale. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 8. And if she be not able to bring a lamb,
Okay?
then she shall bring 2 turtles or 2 young pigeons.
Okay?
The one for the burnt offering, and the other for a sin offering.
Mm-hmm.
And the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean.
Right, so what kind of animals are she's bringing for this sacrifice?
She's bringing a lamb the first year.
Okay?
Also, if she can't bring that, she bring a young pigeon or a turtle dove.
What are those animals? What are they?
Clean animals.
Those are clean animals? It's not sure not talking about the turtle, the one with the walking in with the shell on his back, like Leonardo and Donatello and them? No? What is it talking about? A bird, right? It's talking about a bird. Right. So these are the things they bring towards the priest to make this sacrifice.
So for the word turtles there, the Hebrew word is
What you got now?
tor, which is turtle doves.
Okay.
So this is what you got. You got to make note of these 3 scriptures here, verse 6, 7, and 8, to show you and to prove what birds are clean. Because remember, when we read the last portion, we did not have any instructions of which birds are clean according to the Levitical law, or the dietary law. Remember, it just instructed on what birds are unclean. So how do you prove? The Most High only uses clean animals for his offerings. And his burnt offering sacrifices lamb, we know that's clean. Why? What?
Because the Most High used it.
We just read the law last week. Why is a lamb clean?
Oh, because
What are the 2 things it's supposed to have?
Oh, the hood.
Okay, what? The hood? The hood?
my
God.
What's going on here?
We gotta know this. We get it together.
When you said about lamb, I thought it should be beef. I said,
No. We're gonna be we need the milk.
No,
We ain't trying to get
we're in the milk. We're not in the meat.
You know,
It's not something to going deep thought, meditation on this thing. All right, what does the animal do? Part of the hoof? Did he chew the cut?
Yeah.
Is he cloven-footed?
Right.
It's very simple. All right, you gotta stay with me. Stay with me. Don't go too deep.
Yeah.
All right, we staying in the milk. Everybody agree? We in the milk.
But like I said, just note this to show you
Right.
that birds are clean. So turtle doves and pigeons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want a New York pigeon.
No.
One of them gray jokers, because them jokers everywhere. Go get you a nice pigeon, from the wilderness or something, man.
Right.
Not one of these bitches that be all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to a new chapter.
Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 13, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy,
Go ahead.
then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons the priest.
Right. So when you have this issue of leprosy, or you have some condition in your skin, right, where it looks white and it start to, as it says, the hair grow out of it. It's going to get more in detail when we start reading more about this. It's going to get more in detail on what it's supposed to look like. Then you're supposed to go to the priest. During this time, in the time of Moses, you know, it's not like somebody, when you go into the doctor's office, you make an appointment, go see, you know, Goldstein or Weinstein or one of these jokers, and they tell you got something going on in your skin. Or you go see the dermatologist. Everything we did, we had to go to the Levi. Everybody understand that? That's why the Levi didn't go out to war, because they had such a job. They had the apothecaries probably amongst the Levi. They had the doctors. Everybody that we had to see, you had to go see. Aaron was a doctor. He was everything.
You got his PhD from Yahweh.
Right. Right? Aaron was everything. Aaron played the music. Aaron made the music. You had to see Aaron about your scabs. You had to see Aaron about the sin offering, the trespass offering. When he got time to go out there and fight anybody?
You had mold in your house, you had to come see it.
Right. You got mold in your house. You had to go see Aaron. Right? Everything you had to go see these guys. These guys was everything. They the doctor, the fireman, everything. The surgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What they call it, the home inspectors.
The home inspectors, everything. These guys was everything.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah. That's why, you know, when we get further into this portion, it's going to go into why Moses needed to set up the captains of thousands.
The rankings.
The ranking system. Because it was too much for them. It was too much for them. Imagine, and they also, Moses and Aaron had to do the counseling.
So they're therapists too.
They're therapists too, yeah. And the anointed prayer. Okay? Yeah.
So if you a Levi, you know.
You got a job ahead of you.
You got a lot of wisdom, huh? You got a lot of things.
You got a lot of work to do. You name it. Aaron was the doctor. Aaron was the surgeon. Aaron was the counselor. Aaron was the fireman.
Yeah.
Aaron was
you say contractor too, the home inspector.
Right, the home inspector.
To see if your
Check
house
the
is
mold.
clean.
Aaron and Moses did all this stuff. I'm leaving out something real important. Oh, Aaron and them did the anointing prayer.
The anointing prayer.
So when it came time to anoint, they had to anoint the children of Israel. How many of us came out of Egypt? How many soldiers came out of Egypt? 600,000. That's not including men, women, and children. How do you anoint all those people? You just drop on the floor? Anoint Israel.
Go out to the home.
Right? Line up. Right? Line up. Okay? They had to anoint these guys. They had a lot of work to do. They said Moses was answering, he was counseling people from sunup to sundown.
That's 20.
People came to inquire of him of the Most High. And he had to go and give them an answer. Moses and Aaron was busy, man. That's why they had to set up the families. That's why when they had the children, they had to set up certain family members to deal with the holy things like the menorah. They set up family members to deal with the tent. Set up family members to deal with all different aspects of the tabernacle. Because they themselves could not do it all by themselves. Moses' father-in-law gave him wisdom. He said, what? You're going to wither away. So now, you come in with another problem now. Now Aaron is a dermatologist.
There you go.
Right?
That's the word.
That's the word, right?
Yeah.
He's a dermatologist now. Because now you come into him with the spirit, with this skin of leprosy on you. And now he got to check and say, oh man, what's going on with this dude now? So you got to put that coat on now. How many coats Aaron got? And he was a high priest. Check that out. You know what I mean? So he ministered the word too. He's got a lot of work. You think he got time to put on a gear and a sword and go out there and fight too? If he be killed, what happened? What's going to happen to the people when they got the leprosy? Who's going to check it out? Huh? That's what I'm saying. So these guys had to be 24-hour Israelites. Not like some of the Israelites out here today, the only Israelites on Saturday. Right?
Oh, they had to keep the flame burning right now?
Yeah, there are certain people that the high priest. Listen. Oh, hold on, I forgot one. Aaron was also a baker, yeah. He had to put the bread. Yeah, he had to bake the bread. Every Shabbat, the priest had to bake that fresh baked bread, unleavened bread, in and put it in the sanctuary.
Oh,
every week.
So, and there was cooks.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, man.
There's no way. These guys got a lot of work to do.
If you're a Levite, you better know how to cook.
It's got to be burning the bread. I remember when some years ago, Levi took the incense and put it in the garbage and set the place on fire.
Oh, no, don't bring that up.
Don't bring that up?
Don't bring that up. That's in the past.
Don't let him around the stove. Forget about it. If he almost set the place on fire, forget about it. We don't need that Levi. He must be good for something else. Right? But the Levite, they had a lot of work to do. Endless work. This thing is continuous. It's not just, he just, all right, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go light the menorah and that's it. They had to keep the menorah continually lit 24 hours a day. This thing never went out. So somebody, how did they get the olive oil? Huh? Somebody had to get.
I'm assuming one of the other tribes probably got it for them.
Somebody had to get that oil.
And they probably.
Somebody had to extract it and do all that to get it processed so that they can put the oil into the menorah and keep it lit all the time. It's a process. You got to think about this thing. A lot of times we don't think of it. We reading the scriptures. Yeah, Levi, they do this, they do that, administer the word. And he's still got to administer the word. They got a lot of work to do.
And he still got a family.
Yeah. And you still got to go home and cheer up the wife. They have a lot of work. They have a lot of work. Okay?
And you get unclean with the wife.
That's another subject, guy. We ain't get there yet. That's next week. Slow down. Slow down. That's next week. That's next Torah portion. Leviticus 14 and 15. Go ahead.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verse 3.
Right.
And the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh.
Okay.
And when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy. And the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean.
Right. Now you become unclean. If you look at some of the skin diseases that you have up here on the board, these are some of the things that leprosy may have looked like. These are some of the conditions. These are some of the skin disease that, if you have some things like this, you need to see either a dermatologist or come see the priest. Come see the Levite. Captain Taz is here. He can come check you out. Make sure you're clean if that's the case, and declare you clean or unclean. I don't know how. You have to work that out with the Levites. I don't know. That's not my, I'm a warrior. That's it. I'm the Gadai. I'm ready to go. Okay? So, these are the things that we needed to do. We needed to go to the Levite and see, hey, am I clean or am I unclean? According to this, now you become unclean. Go ahead. Oh, those pictures, yeah. For what?
Yeah, zoom in.
Yeah.
Verse 4. If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, Then the priest shall shut up him that have the plague 7 days.
Right. So go ahead.
And the priest shall look on him the 7th day.
And he come check you out 7 days later. Go ahead.
So you quarantine.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're in quarantine right now. Because he shut you up. That means you got to get out. When you got a spirit of leprosy, you got to unclean something on you. You need to get out the camp. Period. You remember the story of Miriam? Right? Most High give it a spirit of leprosy and put that skin disease on her and put her outside the camp. She can't come back. Right? Go ahead.
And the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if the plague if the plague in his sight be at a stay, and the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more.
Right, so it's not spreading, but it's there. It's still there, still active. What did the priest say? You got to stay out 7 more days. I'll come back and check you. Go ahead.
Now you know where they get all this quarantine from.
Yeah.
That's 14 days, right?
It's 14 days right there. Like the coronavirus. Yeah. Go ahead.
And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin,
right,
the priest shall pronounce him clean.
Why he say that it's dark, that now he pronounce him clean? What is he going by? What is he? Why did he say because now it's dark? Anybody know?
Color came back.
Anybody else know? Is he right? The color came back?
Starting to heal.
It's starting to heal. Right. Like when you get a scratch or a scab, and then it gets real dark, it's starting to heal now. So now you're looking good. It's not spreading. That means what? And when they start to heal, what does that mean? It's not active. Because obviously, if they have to put you out the camp, you're unclean, it's because it's probably contagious. Right. If it's spreading on your arm, then that means you can spread it to Inaw's arm. Then Inaw get it. Then Inaw hug Taz, and they talk to each other in Spanish. Mira, and then boom, he hug him, and the next you know Taz got it. You know what I mean? Then they hug Ariel, the next you know Ariel got it. Now the whole Northern tribe going crazy, right? So what? When you have that scab, you get white or it gets dark and start getting clear. The priest will what? Announce it that it's being healed, and now you're clean now. So now you can come back into the camp. Everybody got that? Okay, that's why Esau tells you that what? This here incubation of the coronavirus was 14 days. It's about the same time. 7 days, a couple of days you're going to get it, then boom, 7 days you got to wait. Then you got to wait 7 more days. Then after 14 days, then they tell you to come back and get a test. Right? All of a sudden now, you know, like everybody got the coronavirus, and now they blame the Chinese. Chinese been eating bat. That ain't nothing new. They've been having bat stew and bat fricassee stew. Ain't nothing new about that. Right? So what it is that, as we know, we don't know how strong you are until you lift something. Right? If you say, yo, I could bench press 100 pounds. Well, I say, well, can you do 150? And you say what? I don't know if I could do 150. Why? Because you ain't never tried. So if I give you, okay. So if I give you 150 pounds, you lift it, now you know how strong you are. So that's what the nation does. They want to know how strong the nation is, how fast they can get this outbreak out. How fast they can solve the issue. So what they do, they put it out there. Do a test run. It spreads out. Some people may die, some people may not. But they test them, so okay, all right, they took the best team doctors, get them together. And then everybody just be working hard to come up with a solution to try to fix it. And when they do it, they say, okay, we were successful. How many did we lose? What's the percentage? Right? So we lost, 5% out of the population. That's not a great loss. So we did well. Unfortunately, we're in the hands of Satan. And this is what he does. Okay? Go ahead. Read on.
Verse 6.
Verse 6, go ahead.
And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day.
And do what?
And behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab.
Right.
And he shall wash his clothes and be clean.
Right, so you got to wash your clothes too after all of this. Read on.
But if the scab spread much abroad in the skin, after that he have been seen of the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen of the priest again.
Okay.
And if the priest see that, behold, the scab spreadeth in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is leprosy.
Right, so after the heat got cleared 14 days, if it looked like it's coming back, he'll come back and see him again and say, hey, no, this thing is spreading again. So we got to pronounce you unclean. All right? You got this leprosy thing going on. It hasn't gone away with as yet. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Verse 9.
When the plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest. This is a whole other process now.
Okay.
So once they find out you have leprosy, now you got to go back to the priest. It's like another doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
Doctor's appointment number 5 over here.
Go ahead. That's right.
Verse 10. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and they have turned their hair white, and there be quick raw flesh in the rising,
right?
It is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean.
Right.
So that's it. Like, you don't have to shut him up no more because he's unclean. He's not going to get clean. He is a leper. He's leprous. Verse 12. Good.
No, good, good.
And if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that have the plague from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that have the plague. It is all turned white. He is clean. But when raw flesh appeareth in him, he shall be unclean.
Right, so that raw flesh. So that's something that, we need to look at. When his flesh looks raw and it's white, right? That means, and it's spreading, that means you have an issue. And that means that, at this point, they pronounce you to be unclean. That means you got to come outside the camp. Remember, these guys were doctors, man, so they had to look for all these things because the last thing they needed was a disease that was going to spread, like an outbreak, like we just mentioned about the coronavirus. This is something very important.
That's the key thing that Minister just said right now, an outbreak. Why was he considered clean in verse 13? After the priest said that his whole body's covered in white. Why was he considered clean?
Because he quarantined for 14 days and it was still spreading.
No. Verse 13. He said, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean. Why?
And then the process?
That's it. It's not going to spread. What Minister just said. It's not going to outbreak. It's not going to spread. It's no longer contagious. He is a leper, but he's clean, meaning that he's not going to get the next person. It's not going to contagious the next person, even if that's a word, or spread. It's not going to spread no more. That's why he's clean.
That's the issue here. The issue is not only that you're getting this thing in your flesh, but it's the contagious of it. Are you active, or can you spread it to someone else? This is the issue right here, right? Because we didn't want someone to spread it out. Just like what we're going through now, this outbreak, the coronavirus, COVID-19. These things are happening, right? And people are saying quarantine for 14 days. Then after that, you may still have the coronavirus, but it will, you will not be contagious. Everybody got that? There are some people now, I heard that, I don't know if it's true, but they have tested for coronavirus 3 months later and still have it. Right, it's still being a system. Some people are still coughing after coronavirus for, I'm talking about months. Okay? So, but you're not contagious. Okay? So, the whole thing is that, in a nutshell, I would say, is that you not be contagious and pass it on to someone else. That was the issue, of course, whenever we dealt amongst Israel. You know, that was the reason why the Most High never liked putting us to death. But he did not want our sin to be contagious. Everybody got that? Right? That thing with Will Smith, with his wife had an entanglement. If they was in the wilderness, Jada Pinkett would be right up there in the middle of the city, and Will would not be able to do anything about it. And she'd be put to death. Huh?
So you gonna have to stone her too.
Yeah. The first stone would be coming from him. Okay? So these things is that so that other women don't look at her and say, well, yeah, well, she wasn't satisfied and she had an entanglement and she looks happy now. Right? Because of the law, they will not do that. So the Most High will put fear in your heart. If you see someone else get put to death for foolishness, that will stop you in your tracks and stop you from doing it. You wouldn't do that. Yeah. If your boy next to you was eating a ham sandwich, and you turn around and look at him, I know, what you eating that ham sandwich for? And he's like, man, listen, ham is good, pork is good. So now I know I'll commit 2 sins. One, he eating the ham, so that's wrong. Okay, that's against Torah. Okay, that's a sin. Then he turn around and then he promote the sin and say that the ham is good. Right? Now he's spreading the sin. So now, what's going to happen? I turn back to Inaw, and all of a sudden I see him like just a pile of charcoal or something, like just dust. Like, what happened? Like he got hit with a lightning bolt and he's dead. Then I'm gonna think and say, I wake up in the morning, damn, he had that ham sandwich, and Most High put him to death. I know I ain't gonna have no ham sandwich. Give me my sandwich without the ham, right? Because you know better, because you know the judgment is coming.
No pork on my fork.
Right, ain't no. That's like Yashua always say, no pork on my fork, right? So, and like the elder Yuccanan say, my money don't buy pork. Right? That's what the elders say. Con? Right? So we gotta realize that, you know, when we sin, it's not just us, you know, but there's others around us, and that sin spread. Right? So that's why she made it so plainly, like she come out there with this bald head, and in the scriptures they say it's a shame for a woman to have a bald head. Women should not have bald heads, man. It's a shame for a woman to have a bald head. It's not a style. The Most High is not supporting your style. Okay, He's not supporting your fashion. If your head is bald, you need to cover it up. Everybody understand that? As a woman. As a man, you can have a bald head. Man hair fall out all the time. Some of the prophets' heads was bald. Con?
Natural baldness.
Natural baldness. Not that you just shaved it all off. You want to look clean like what's his name? Like
MJ.
Isaac Hayes or something.
Oh.
Who you gonna say?
I said MJ.
Michael Jordan. Okay, that's somebody's recent. I said Isaac Hayes. It's my time, right? So we gotta remember that these things make you. When you break the law, do you know you are unclean? You do things that are transgression. You do things towards the Most High that make you unclean. Being unclean is not a sin, but but when you come amongst the clean, then you become sinful. You got an issue or running an issue with your arm, your leg, or whatever's going on, and you don't come amongst the clean, then you fine. You separated for your uncleanness. But when you come around the clean and come amongst the Akim, Akwathium, the men and the women, the brothers and the sisters, then you become sinful because you make everyone else unclean. Everybody understand that? Right? So it's the act of you coming around others. Because what you're going to do, you're going to spread. your uncleanness among others. I tell you, it's about being contagious. And sin is contagious. Go ahead. Read on now.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verse 14. But when raw flesh appeareth in him, he shall be unclean. And the priest shall see the raw flesh, and pronounce him to be unclean. For the raw flesh is unclean, it is a leprosy. Or if the raw flesh turned again, and be changed unto white, he shall come unto the priest. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned into white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that had the plague, he is clean. Verse 18. The flesh also, in which even in the skin thereof was a boil, and is healed. And is healed? Yeah, and is healed.
Right.
And in the place of the boil, there be a white rising, or a bright spot, white and somewhat reddish. You can put that picture back up again. Oh, it's right there.
I got another here.
Oh, making us unclean. No, I'm joking. And in the place of the boil, there be a white rising, or a bright spot, white and somewhat reddish, like in the picture, and it be showed to the priest. And if, when the priest seeth, behold, it be in sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy broken out of the boil.
Right, so the plague of leprosy should be broken out of the boil. So remember that we get those boils sometimes. Even Job, he got the boils upon his feet, all over his body. You remember that? And what did he do? He separated himself with that pain. You know what I mean? He went through a lot of pain, so he separated himself until when he was clean. Go ahead.
And the word lower, just to get another definition of the lower, it's deeper, deep in the skin. Because that means it's in there, is in there. When you see it, like, I guess if the word was like higher or like on top of the skin, that means it's starting to heal. Like it's gonna go away soon. But if it's deep in there, you're unclean. Verse 21. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hairs therein, and if it be not lower than the skin,
Right.
there you go, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And if it spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague. But if the bright spot stay in his place and spread not, it is a burning boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. Alright? Verse 24. Or if there be any flesh in the skin, whereof there is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burneth have a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white, then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair in the bright spot be turned white, and it be in sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out of the burning, wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy.
Right, you notice every time you always talk about the hair being white, that's because the thing is starting to spread. It's contagious. It's the reason why the hair is white. Okay? So this is why he pronounces him unclean. But when he knows that it's darkened, that's the process of it healing. That's why he said give him 7 days, and by then he'll come back and check on him. And if it's still dark, it's probably gotten darker within those 7 days. Now it looks like it's just going to be a scab and fall off. Then he pronounce you clean. Everybody got that? Okay, go ahead.
I was trying to think of some names
Names of
some of these skins.
Right. Because there's so many different skin diseases. There's so many. That's why they have these doctors who specialize, which is called a dermatologist. He specializes in the skin. Everybody got that? So if you're having an issue, there you go. Just put it up big on there. But if you go to see him and you have an issue within your body and your skin, then most likely, it's something that's within you. I suggest you go see the officer, Nathaniah. Okay, he's what we call the herbalizer. You know what I mean? If you need to get herbalized, he'll take care of you and get some of them problems with your skin out. All right, give you some good stuff, some good herbs. All right. So we have people that's in the camp that can help with your skin issues. Con? All right. Go ahead.
Verse 24.
Uh-huh.
Leviticus chapter 13, verse 24. Or if there be any flesh in the skin, whereof there is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burneth have a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white, then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair in the bright spot be turned white, and it be in sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out of the burning, wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hair in the bright spot, and it be no lower than the other skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days.
Right, you see that? The hair is not white, it be a little dark, then the priest say, you know what, just chill for 7 days and see how this healing process is going. It look like it's healing. Go ahead.
And the priest shall look upon him the 7th day, and if it be spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy. And if the bright spot stay in his place, and spread not in the skin, but it be somewhat dark, it is a rising of the burning, and the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is an inflammation of the burning.
Right, so even with that, then we had inflammation. We had things that where we get swollen hands or legs or feet. Some people get their feet, it be swelling. A lot of times that swelling comes from your heart. Sometimes your heart may not be working or you're not moving enough. Right? A lot of times people have things that are swollen because they're not moving their body parts. You know what I mean? The heart not beating fast enough to circulate that blood. You know what I'm saying? So, these are the things we dealt with this stuff back then, inflammation. And this inflammation is part of the curses in Deuteronomy 28. That's why our people suffer from high blood pressure, diabetes, inflammation, you name it. We fit the curses, right? Because we are very unhealthy. Because we look for a fast way to eat things, you know what I mean? And a lot of times people, when you read the scriptures, the dietary law is very simple. We ate a lot of fruits, vegetables, greens, and we did a lot of walking. We walked the wilderness over 40 years. I don't see how we could be unhealthy. You know what I mean?
So that inflammation is just a chemical reaction that's going on in your body. Remember, it said that it has to be reddish and there has to be a bright white spot. So you're going to see some people have rashes, eczema. You'll see some red spots, reddish, but it's not necessarily that they have leprosy or they're unclean, because it's just an inflammation. Now, if you see that, there's something I think with a P, Posarius, or some other skin irritate. What is it? Psoriasis.
I think it starts with a P.
Right? Oh, it's part of the P silent. Right. I think I see some pictures that you'll see some white boils in them with the red. That's what the scriptures is talking about. That white bright spot. Then that's unclean. You know what I'm saying? But if you see a little rash or you got a little red circle here, it's just an inflammation. You know what I mean? Unless you got, I don't know, ringworms. I've seen ringworms before. Those are like you get bites from something, right?
No, that's just
From poor hygiene.
Yes, ringworm comes from poor hygiene, and also a lot of times the children used to get it playing in the sandbox, right? Because a lot of times they play in the sandbox, they don't get themselves. They're behind other children. They have it, right? This is this is heavy amongst our nation. Yeah. I've seen one. I never seen one. I seen one this big.
Yeah, I was gonna say I seen one like this.
And when I was growing up, they never was this big. They were small, very small. Yes, less than that, smaller than a quarter. But I've seen one on a child a couple of years ago. It was about the size of this yellow top. I never seen anything. If I can see this yellow top, I never seen anything big like this on a child. And I'm talking about like maybe a year old. It was on a leg, and I didn't know what it was. I thought she had something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Other than, and they told me it was a ringworm. I said, wow. And this come from not bathing the children every day, not washing the blankets, swapping other people's blanket with theirs and clothes and stuff. Yeah, right. You have to make sure you wash the children's clothes, wash their hair. You know what I'm saying? It's a process having children. A lot of times we get caught up with work. We don't have time for that. We working all day. You need to wash the children's sheets, their clothes, everything, every week. All that stuff need to be washed. Wash towels, wash clothes. They shouldn't have the same washcloth and the same towel for 2 or 3 weeks. You gotta think about that for a minute. A lot of these things happen to us because we're being really unclean. Huh?
I'm saying the curses, like you said.
Yeah. We're not taking time to really take care of the children. You know what I mean? It's a job. We have 2 jobs. We got to take care of ourselves and take care of our children. 3 really. Our wife, we got a bunch of jobs, and we got to take care of the house. Okay, so I know it's a lot on the men and the women, but as we pull together, everybody do their job, then the house will run like a train, man. Right? It'll run smooth. It'll be shalom in the home. Okay, but when somebody stop or somebody say, well, I ain't doing that no more, I do what I want to do, I say what I want to say, I want to bowl my head, I want to do what I want to do, then, these things happen like you see before. Like we brought up earlier about being a shameless woman. Everybody got that? And to be an adulterous woman and just being wicked all outdoors. Alright? So, let's finish.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verse 29.
Go ahead, huh?
If a man or a woman have a plague upon the head or the beard,
Mm-hmm.
then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean.
Mm-hmm.
It is a dry scald, even a leprosy upon the head or beard.
Okay.
And if the priest look on the plague of the skull, and behold, it be not in sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut him up that have the plague of the skull 7 days. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the skull spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair,
Mm-hmm.
and the skull be not in sight deeper than the skin, it shall be shaven.
Mm-hmm.
But the skull shall he not shave, and the priest shall shut him up, and the hair shall not shut him up that have the skull 7 days more.
Right. So what happened now? He found a thing in his head where the area was, but he didn't tell him to shave his head. You see that? He told him to shave the area where the problem is at. Everybody got that? Read it again now.
I think it's the opposite.
Huh? Go ahead.
And in the, which one is it? Verse 31?
Mm-hmm.
No, 32.
Go ahead.
And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the skull spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, then the skull be not in sight deeper than the skin, it shall be shaven, but the skull shall he not shave.
It's a skull.
So that's
the
so they're gonna shave the rest of your hair, but the spot where it has the yellow hair, leave it alone.
leave it alone.
Right, because they want to see that turn black again.
Right. So they want to analyze that thing. Okay.
And also, it's probably to prevent it from spreading. I'm just making an assumption.
Right.
Spreading to the other hair follicles, maybe. You know, the hair man probably know.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Verse 33 again.
Okay.
He shall be shaven, but the skull shall he not shave, and the priest shall shut him up that have the skull 7 days more. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the skull, and behold, if the skull be not spread in the skin, nor be in sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the skull shall spread much in the skin after his cleansing, then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the skull be spread in the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. But if the skull be in his sight, and he stay, and that there is black hair grown upon therein, the skull is healed, he is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. So after reading that, I believe, so I'm assuming that they shave the rest of the head to see if the leprosy starts spreading, because with your hair there, they probably can't see much, they can't analyze it, so that's why they cut it. I was about to look up what skull is.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
You looking at it? Let's see. Boom. Just gonna go to the blue letter. So you got it?
It's I'm looking at it says that the man or woman must shave themselves except for the affected area.
Right.
And the priest is to keep them isolated another 7 days. So they're supposed to, like you mentioned earlier, they needed to shave everything except the area where the infection is at, right? Because they need to see it heal. Right. They need to see it heal.
So the skull is basically, according to the blue letter, a scab, a skin eruption.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Right, the affected area.
Right.
That's what it is. Huh?
You can. It shouldn't be too much.
Go ahead.
Verse
36,
36?
35.
I think I'm at 38. No? No. I'll read 35. Huh? Verse 35.
Go ahead.
But if the skull spread much in the skin after his cleansing, then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the skull be spread in the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. But if the skull be in his sight, and he stay, and that there is black hair grown upon therein, the skull is healed, he is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean.
Right.
If a man also, or a woman, have in the skin of their flesh bright spots, even white bright spots, then the priest shall look, and behold, if the bright spots in the skin of their flesh be darkish white, it is a freckled spot that groweth in the skin, he is clean.
So what is this talking about? Freckles, right. So it's like a darkened spot, you know what I mean? So this is talking about freckles. Some people have them, right? You notice some people have freckles? Right. So is you still clean? You're not unclean, is what it's saying.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the man whose hair is fallen off his head.
There we go. Now it's coming out. The man whose hair is falling out. Right? I ain't saying no names.
And the man whose hair is falling off his head, he is bald.
He is what?
He is bald.
Okay, go ahead.
Yet he is clean.
He is clean. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that we all clean. Okay, go ahead.
And he that have his hair fallen off from the part of his head toward his face, he is forehead bald.
That's it. Yeah, come on.
Yet he is clean.
He is clean. So that's a good thing, Con.
Damn. Gave us two names, forehead bald and bald.
That's it.
Man,
It's happening.
At least I'm clean.
At least you're clean. That's what's up. Go
And
ahead.
if there be in the bald head or bald forehead a white reddish sore, it is a leprosy sprung up in his bald head or his bald forehead.
Right?
Then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the rising of the sore be white reddish in his bald head or in his bald forehead, as the leprosy appeareth in the skin of the flesh, he is a leprous man. He is unclean. The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean. His plague is in his head.
Right.
And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his head bare.
Right.
And he shall put a covering upon his upper lip, and shall cry, unclean, unclean.
Oh my gosh. They're
Yeah.
crying out.
That's the COVID mask.
You're right. The COVID mask. Right. Go ahead.
So, boy. All the days wherein the plague shall be in him, he shall be defiled. He is unclean. He shall dwell alone.
No, with his homeboys.
He shall dwell alone.
With his wife.
He shall dwell alone
Read.
without the camp. Without the camp shall his habitation be.
Right. So when you become clean like that, you need to separate yourself from among the camp.
Why they only give the instructions to the bald man?
What do you mean?
That he need to make sure that he let everybody know he unclean. Why he give those instructions to everybody else? They're getting on the bald people, man.
Listen on.
He said, you need to cover your lips and scream, I'm unclean, I'm unclean, coming through. Get out the way.
Get out the way.
Get out the way.
Your problem, man. Don't give me your problem. Get out the way. Announce it. Let me know. We in the camp. Remember, we outside. We in the camp. We not in the you know, you could finish the class here and say, yo, I'm unclean. I gotta go. And whisper me, hey, Captain had to go. Right? But if you outside in the camp,
You gotta
we don't have no
cry
microphones.
loud.
Right. We don't have no microphones. During the time of Moses, we had no microphone. So what we had to do? We had to say, yo, listen, I'm unclean. I'm unclean. And then going out the camp, everybody move out the way. They set a path for you.
They parted like the Red
They
Sea.
parted like the sea, and you just run out. I'm unclean.
Everybody gonna move one way.
Move on out the way. Don't want it. You don't want to get none of that. You want no smoke. Go ahead, huh?
Verse 47. We're in
Uh-huh.
the book of Leviticus 13, verse 47.
Right. So it said that you needed to rent your clothes, tear them up, destroy them, get rid of them.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
The garment also that the plague of leprosy is in, whether it be a woolen garment or a linen garment, whether it be in the warp or woof of linen or of woolen, whether in a skin or in anything made of skin,
Right.
and if the plague be greenish or reddish in the garment, or in the skin, either in the warp or in the woof, or in anything of skin, it is a plague of leprosy, and shall be showed unto the priest.
Right.
And the priest shall look upon the plague, and shut up it that have the plague 7 days. So even the garment got a quarantine.
Right. So you had to, get rid of it. Yeah, it's got to move out. It's got to come out the camp. Go ahead.
And he shall look on the plague on the 7th day. If the plague be spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof or in a skin, or in any work that is made of skin, the plague is a fretting leprosy. It is unclean.
Right. So why is he saying all this? Because of the skin. Because of why? Because what we're wearing is animals here, and what we have a contagious in the flesh. So now, if it's contagious to us and we wear something that pertains to animal hair, it's going to be on the garment. So it can possibly spread. That's why he wanted to take it out of the camp 7 days and see what happened to it. Okay? Because these things can spread onto animals. Animals get sick too. Everybody know that? Animals get sick too. They get things in their flesh, and a lot of times Esau pump them up with drugs and try to fix it, or they put them to death, and probably still sell us the meat.
Oh boy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 52.
Go ahead.
He shall therefore burn that garment.
Do what to the garment?
Burn that garment.
You see that? You need to
Man,
burn that
this-
garment.
This is my favorite garment, man.
Yeah, well, burn it. Fire. Fire burns everything. That's why they burn.
Can I just
Why
cut
they
it
burn?
out? Can I just cut it out?
Why do they burn things? Yes,
Fire purifies.
that's right. Fire purifies. It burns to the smallest substance, which is dust. So it destroys everything. That's why there are certain sins that if you sin, you will set on fire. Anybody know what sin it was? Oh boy, Radon, I'm gonna have to put you.
Oh, Salak.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Let's see what you got.
I think when the high priest's daughter played the whore by marrying behind his back in his house, she had to be burned with fire.
Prove it. We're gonna read on. I need you to prove that. Find that for me. Go ahead.
Verse 52.
Hmm.
He shall therefore burn that garment, whether warp or woof, in woolen or in linen, or in anything of skin, wherein the plague is, for it is a fretting leprosy, it shall be burnt in the fire. The word fretting means active, by the way. And if the priest shall look, and behold, the plague be not spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof, or in anything of skin, then the priest shall command that they wash the thing wherein the plague is, and he shall shut it up 7 days more.
Right.
And the priest shall look on the plague. After that it is washed. And behold, if the plague have not changed his color, and the plague be not spread, it is unclean. Thou shalt burn it in the fire. It is fret inward, whether it be bare within or without.
Mm-hmm.
And if the priest look, and behold, the plague be somewhat dark after the washing of it, then he shall rend it out of the garment, or out of the skin, or out of the warp, or out of the woof. And if it appear still in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof or in anything of skin, it is a spreading plague. Thou shalt burn that wherein the plague is with fire.
Right.
And the garment, either warp or woof, or whatsoever thing of skin it be, which thou shalt wash, if the plague be departed from them, then it shall be washed the second time, and shall be clean.
Right. So you gotta wash it the first time, then wait 7 days. Then if he still sees something in there, you're gonna wash it again. All right. It's gotta be separated from you because of if it's infected. You don't want it for you to put it back on and you get it again. Okay. Go ahead.
This is the law of the plague of leprosy in a garment of woolen or linen, either in the warp or woof of any or anything of skins, to pronounce it clean or to pronounce it unclean.
Right. So now we went over the law of what? Being clean and unclean. This is very important, right? Not too long ago, we went over a law concerning what? Being clean animals that we can eat and unclean animals that we're not supposed to eat. Okay, so these are the things that the Most High, these are the laws. We got to read these laws because this is how we're going to apply them. If we don't read them and get them into our spirit, then how are we going to apply them? Everybody understand that? We have to read over them. We have to get more understanding, right? Now normally, like these days we're not getting leprosy, but we are getting things like the COVID. We're getting the flu. We're getting sick with the flu. Some of our people are getting chicken pox. Some of our people never even got the chicken pox before. Some people in here, probably everybody in here, probably already got the vaccination for the chicken pox. Right? A lot of times our parents just did it. I think it was around in the 70s, maybe it started in the 60s. They started the vaccination for the chicken pox. It wasn't something to cure us from the chicken pox, but it was something to prevent us from dying from the chicken pox. And this is the reason why they have this vaccine out now. It's supposed to protect us from not dying from the COVID, right? But to survive it. So this is what Esau, that's what his plan is, to keep the germs and to keep everything down, so we don't be spreading out and then the whole earth is wiped out. But that's his idea. That's what he thinks. That's what he feels. This is what he does, right? Anyway, it's all up to the Most High whether we be here or not here. He's the ultimate killer out of all of them. You know, if he wants you gone, if it be by COVID, then so be it. If he wants you gone or he wants you here, then you be here. Some of our people die from cancer, right? A lot of our people die from cancer. Cancer is something that is very serious. I lost someone that was late last year from cancer. So, you know, this is the condition of our people. This is what's going around. You know, these are the plagues that's going around. How can you prevent these things? There are ways to prevent them. Number one thing is to serve Yah. You know, ask Yah for his protection all the time. Okay, another way is a lot of times what we put in our body is how we being affected with a lot of things. You know, so a lot of times our people tell us just bless the pork and keep it moving, right? But these things the Most High told us not to eat. So if you eating jerk pork all the time, then you turn around, you got high blood pressure, then you know why. Because you're high in sodium. That stuff is high in sodium. It's not healthy for you. It was not made for consumption. That's why he told us not to eat it. Everybody got that? Not to eat these things. It's very important. So with that being said, Radad, scripture for me?
Yeah, come.
What is it?
Leviticus 21 verse 9.
Leviticus 21 and verse 9.
That's it.
Yeah.
Trying to see if you want to read up.
Yeah. Start at verse 5. Start at 5. Start with the boldness. That was the last thing we left off with when they had to go. Yeah, we gotta go there. Huh? Go ahead, man. You gotta go there. You feeling it? You feeling it? Feel it. Let's go. Let's feel it together.
Leviticus 21. All right, Elder.
Let's go. Bring that out.
21 verse 5.
Right.
They shall not make baldness upon their head.
Read.
Neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
Right. What is this talking about? The Egyptians. The Egyptians did this. Okay. Right. They made their head bald. They shaved the corners of their head, and they put cuttings in their flesh. They did this. So that's why he given us this law for us not to do this. Okay. Right. Now he told us that if the hair is falling off, that's one thing, right? There's some men that go bald, the hair falls off. You know, move it out the way, get it out the way, get it out of there. Okay? But we're not supposed to just do it because it's a style. Everybody got that? Yeah. Because I want to look like Michael Jordan, or I want to look like Kojak, right? I don't know if anybody want to look like Kojak, but I don't know. You want to look like Tony Savalas? You want to be sucking on a lollipop and cut your hair off? No. The Most High said, don't do that. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 6. They shall be holy unto their power, and not profane the name of their power. For the offerings of the Most High made by fire, and the bread of their power, they do offer.
Read.
Therefore they shall be holy. They shall not take a wife that is a whore, or profane.
Read.
Neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband.
Right, so you're talking about who? The priesthood. The priesthood should not take a woman that's put away from her husband. Read.
For he is holy unto his power. Thou shalt sanctify him therefore, for he offereth the bread of thy power. He shall be holy unto thee, for I am the Most High Yahweh thy power, which sanctify you, am holy.
Right?
And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore,
Right?
she profaneth her father.
Right?
She shall be burnt with fire.
Right. You're going to be burnt with fire, because they're showing you that the priesthood is very sacred, and the daughter of the priesthood is very sacred. And when you give your daughter out of the tribe of Levi, at this time, in time of Moses, you gave it to another Levi. Everybody understand that? Okay, and then she would be that guy's husband until the day that he died, and he can't put her away. He put her away. She can't marry another. Everybody understand that? Because Levi, the priest, they weren't allowed to take a woman that's put away. Now, if he died and he's gone, then she can marry another priest. Everybody got that? Right? Radar?
I was gonna ask, like, because Yahweh said not to put a woman away unless she commit fornication.
Right. So that's why the priest could not take the woman that's put away, because obviously she was put away for what? Committing fornication.
Right. So that means she's either whore or profane, right?
Right. So that's why the priest couldn't take her. Everybody understand that? All right. So with that being said, give the Most High a hand. Hallelujah. We finish the portion. Next week portion, we still into the purification of the separation of being unclean. So it's going to go on to a little bit more next week on that. Okay. So we're going to keep on going on with this purification. This is the next portion. We'll probably be going to be going into like the running issue with the man and the woman. So this is things that are very important, because as men we got to be servants of Yah. We have to be able to teach our women. The scriptures say for the husband to teach the wife. Okay? So you have to be able to teach your wife. Okay, you're going to be separated for a period of time, and this is when you cannot come into the service because you are unclean, because you're in the middle of your, I don't know if a nice word, flowers?
Yeah.
In the flowers? Right. So you in the flowers, you can't come amongst the men until that day, until those 7 days are up. We're going to go into that next week. Everybody understand that? So we're getting prepared. We're in a month of Abib. We're in the new year today. Okay? Hallelujah. We're in a new year. And we're going into the month where we keep the Passover. This is the time that you need to, get the leaven out of your house. It's very important. Please remember to search your cabinets. Get the leaven out. Most of all, get the sin out of you. Everybody got that? You got to get the sin out of you, because you cannot, eat the Passover with malice. That's what he said. You remember that? Malice and unleavened bread. Let's get that real quick, being that we're in this month before we close out. 1 Corinthians 5 and 6. I think it's that. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, all the way to like verse 9.
Yeah.
Verse 8.
Go ahead. Let's get it, because being that we're in this month, we gotta get ourselves prepared for the Passover. Everybody understand that?
So 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 8.
6. Start at 6.
Alright, start at 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the first book of Corinthians chapter 5 verse 6.
Okay, read that.
Your glorying is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump?
Right. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. Right? What is that talking about? A little sin. Right? Can mess up the whole congregation. You get one little sin, one sinful person in here who just can't get it right. Right? Go ahead.
Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Hamashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
Right, he is sacrificed for us. Hamashiach Yahushua. He came and died for us, for the nation of Israel. Okay? He is our Passover. Wasn't he with us when we got out of Egypt? He was with fire by night and the cloud by day. And he said we were what? We were baptized under where? We were baptized. We were made clean when we came out of Egypt. Everybody got that? Go ahead, read on.
Verse 8. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven.
Right, not with the old issues that you had last year. We in the new year. Go ahead.
Neither with the leaven of malice.
Neither with the leaven of malice. You got issues with somebody. Yo, yeah, we had the Passover, but I really don't like him. Yeah, that's not the spirit. That's not how you eat the Passover. Go ahead.
With the leaven of malice and wickedness.
Right.
But with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
Right, with the unleavened bread with sincerity and in truth. We got to put aside our ish, if we got any with anybody, and we need to squash that and keep it moving. This ain't the streets. When you see somebody 20 years later, that's my nigga right there, I got to get that cat. That days is over, man. You killed that old man. You can't be that old man no more. You took a loss in the street, that's just a loss. You got to chuck it up. Them days are over, man. That's not you anymore. You're a new creature in this world. That's why we change our name. We don't use John and Dave and Leroy. You know, we Ali Asaf, we Marshall, we Tazia One, we Shamshawar, Kabaria. You know what I mean? We got Hebrew names, Ainah. You know what I mean? We got new names because we killed that old man. That old man is dead. So them old ways that you got, you need to check them. Because that's not you anymore. And if it's still you, then you got a bigger problem. Because you can't sit up there and eat. Because every time you bite that lamb, you eating the bread, you eating the body of a Mashiach Yahushua. And you eating it with malice. That's wicked. Better you just be, most I said, just be all out wicked. Right? He said, don't be, lukewarm. In and out. You dodging. Like you play the dodgeball, with the female that be doubling the ball. They be playing double dutch. When you go double dutch, they be doing. And then you be going like this, trying to figure out when to jump in. What you doing, man? You in and you out. If you in, chuck that stuff at the door. Right? And be with the Most High. Okay? He says, therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Read.
I wrote unto you in an epistle, not to company with fornicators.
Right. What's a fornicator? Somebody who commits unlawful sexual act. That's one. There's a different kind of fornicator too. Anybody can tell me? Nah, you retard. I'm going to get you a seat over here, man. Huh? Right. There's people that commit what they call spiritual fornication, where you want to deal with other gods. You want to dip and dabble with everything. You make everything a damn doctrine. Right? You got people out there like that. Make everything a doctrine. 1 minute they chilling with everybody, they eating, we drinking, we having a good time. The next minute, nah, I don't eat that no more. I'm a vegetarian. And those who eat meat, you going off, you're wicked. Right? They turn being a vegetarian a doctrine.
Right.
Damn, it's just food, man. Follow the dietary law. The dietary law says you can have meat. You can have bread. Just because you're a vegetarian, that don't mean that the people that are not, they're wicked. Okay? The men ate meat. Aaron ate meat. They ate lamb. Don't turn into a whole doctrine. The people turn into a whole, going to their damn leave the truth. and start their own thing. The vegetarian Israelites. Right? Come on now. Like you turn things into a whole religion. That's what people do, man. They take it too far. Right? And some people find out that they, some of the so-called Haitians find out that what? They Levi. Now all of a sudden, we the priests of the Most High. And you are a Benjamite, or you a Gadite, or you a Reubenite. You can't teach this word. Only the priest can teach this word. Where? And you learn you're a Levite from a Judite. And they turn into a whole religion, and they go and move somewhere, some secluded area, and become some damn Greek god now. Now you praising Levi. Praise the tribe of Levi. Where is it at? What verse is that? It says, forsake not the Levi. I got you. You know me? I'm going to take care of my Levites. Okay? But you don't turn a thing into a whole doctrine. That's what our people do. But we got to remember that we, upon the Passover, we got to keep the Passover, not with malice, not with issues, not with, arguing with one another, going back and forth, being bitter. That's not the time to do that now. The time is what? That we should dwell together, pray for one another, that we get out of here. That's what we need to do. We need to get out of here. You guys want to stay here, man? I keep telling you, I'm leaving my wallet, I'm leaving my phone. I ain't doing no Instagram. I ain't putting no text messages out. The chariot outside, the glasses come off. I see in the kingdom, brother. I'm out. I don't need glasses where I'm going. Right? That's it. 40-40, 50-50, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Right? Whatever the vision may be, my vision going to be bright. Okay? When I see that light, it's time for me to go. I see you later. They said one grinding in the middle, right? And one left behind. Right? One going to be left behind. I don't want to be left behind. Hold on. Nah, I ain't looking back at you.
What you taking with you, mister?
Nothing. Not even you. I'm out. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Right? Is that what they say in the hood? If you don't know, you better ask somebody. It's time to go. Y'all want to stay here? That's up to y'all. I'm trying to get my righteousness on as much as I can. I want my righteousness to exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees. Because I want to get out of here. And if I don't make it out of here and I happen to pass on, when I get to where I'm going to be judged for the things that I've done wrong and the things that I have done right. But I want my right to be above the wrong that I've done. So that way when I get there, I don't know if I'm coming back down or not. He may not say that. You good, minister. Have a seat. You don't need to go back down there no more. Well, I'll set you back down when I'm ready to rain havoc on that place. And I said, I'll be ready. I'm Mashiach Yahushai. I'll have my tomahawk and my staff with me. I'm waiting. Right? That's the spirit you need to have on you. Trying to get out of here. You arguing with your brother, your sister. We right here. We in the same condition. What is it to argue about? We all jacked up, huh? Ain't nobody doing better than nobody else. Right? Like Don King say, you a nigga in America. If you got money, you just a nigga with money. That's all. But we should be trying to get out of here. Praying for our redemption. Everybody got that? Come on. That's what our spirit needs to be when we eating that lamb. Kwam Yasharallah. Kwam Yasharallah. Right? We should be trying to get out of here. Rise, Israel. Not trying to sit here and play games with each other. We got to get out. Everybody got that? All right, hallelujah. With that being said, we finished the portion. We're going to break. We're going to eat lunch. And we're going to get prepared for today. We have a major council. We're going to have a town hall after the closing of this class. So I want to say Shabbat Shalom to everyone in the Treasure Coast, everyone that is in Florida and around the four corners of the earth. And those of you that are living in the Port St. Lucie area, if you live off of Port St. Lucie Boulevard, you live in the Port St. Lucie area, Fort Pierce, Vero Beach, Indian River Town. If you live in this area, then you could come and worship with us reach out to us on the YouTube. We got numbers. You can reach to us, and you can come and worship with us every Shabbat. We're here. All right, we're gonna be here even when the bombs go off. Everybody got that? All right, this is gonna be the bomb shelter right here. We ain't going nowhere. The protection of the angels is gonna be with us. Hallelujah. 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 All right. That being said,